All right, moving right along, 14D. It's asking us what percent of copiers are expected to fail before 36 months. And I know from that the normal distribution that we drew for part A, I know once again my mean is right at the very middle of 42 months. So 36 months is going to be somewhere off to the left. All right, so we're trying to go from months to figuring out a z-score. What does that mean in terms of standard deviations away from the mean to finding a percent? So what we're going to do is we are going to use the opposite process of what we just did for 14C. So I'm going to use my z-score formula to kind of figure that out. So I need to figure out what is a z-score for 36 months if I know my mean is 42 and I have a standard deviation of 7. So what I'm going to get is negative 6 divided by 7, and I get a z-score of negative 0.857. So I know that I am negative 0.857 standard deviations away from the mean. So I'm not exactly at 1. So the little diagram that I just drew is a little bit off. It should probably be closer to the mean. Alright, but anyway, it kind of explains and kind of makes sense, where we're at on our graph. It's a negative z-score because we're to the left. That makes sense because 42 months is the mean. 36 months has to come before the mean. Alright, so once I have a z-score, I now have to take that z-score and I got to plug it into my calculator to figure out what percent is that in area. And we're going to do that using the normal CDF function on my calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to have normal CDF, but my calculator asked me for a lower range and an upper range when I do that. So I have to figure out, I'm trying to get what percent of copiers fail before the 36 months. So what I'm trying to do is find the area of everything that comes before it. So is my z-score of negative 0.857 going to be the upper or the lower? Well, it's going to be the upper in this case. So I put negative 0.857 for my upper into my calculator. Now I have to find the lowest z-score. Well, I don't exactly want the lowest, right? I want everything that comes before that. And what we do is we put negative 99 in for the lower limit because my calculator doesn't understand negative infinity. So I'm going to put in negative 99. And why that works is most of our data from the rule that we learned, the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, is that we know that within 3 standard deviations we're going to have everything but 0.3% of our data. So anything greater than that is going to give us a good estimate of most of our data. So going out 99 standard deviations is ridiculously a large amount of standard deviations to go. So I'm going to put that into my calculator. So I'm going to put in right now negative 99 for my lower limit, negative 0.857 for my upper limit, and it's going to list it in your calculator as 0 for the mean, 1 standard deviation, and I am going to get an area of 0.196, which equals 19.6%. So to sum up what we just did, it's the opposite process. We're taking our months, we're going to z-score, and then we're going to a percent with our calculator. Hope this clarifies this question for you, and we'll move right along to the next question.